As a caregiver, what is the greatest thing that can be done for you? That's what I'm going to explain to you on this next episode of Chatting It Up with CJ. We're going to talk about something that's very uncommon. Maybe some people have had the experience of having this happen where an action is taken care of on your behalf. A lot of times you don't even know that it's been taken care of. But when it counts, that's when it shows itself. And it's probably the greatest thing that could ever be done for someone that's left behind. I'm talking about pre-arranged death arrangements. Yes, I know. We don't normally talk about that. We're so much into living and thriving and doing things like making most of every day. At least that's the goal. But you know, part of that is talking about our future. It's been said and it's known. The only things that are guaranteed in life are death and taxes. Yes, I found out taking care of my parents' estates. Man, taxes, they don't forget. You could be off the planet. They still want to tax you. Anyway, that's a whole different subject. But I'm here to let you know that the most loving thing that my parents did for me was prearrange their death arrangements. I didn't know that they had done this. I was kind of aware because my parents were really open about talking about things, how they wanted to have their end of life handled, but also in their passing, they made sure that everything that needed to be handled would be effortless for the person that was handling their stuff afterwards. Now, at the time, I didn't know it was me. I had no clue it was me. I had no clue I was going to be their caregiver. But that being said, when the first parent left, which was my dad, he had made these arrangements, and I was aware of it at that time, but I didn't know how it worked. Let's face it, we don't know, because how many times do you run into a situation where you're taking care of someone's death arrangements? And you may think it's very morbid, but I want you to take a moment to think about what it's like when you leave this earth. What is it like for the people that are left behind? What are they going through? What exactly is it that they are faced with? What decisions do they have to make? The more you do ahead of time before you leave this earth, the easier it's going to be for your loved ones. And I recognize now, since I've lost both my parents, and since I had to be the person to take care of them leading up to their passing and then everything thereafter, I now recognize the ultimate act of love for me. Now, again, I didn't know it was me, but whoever was left to do this, it was an ultimate act of love. When my dad passed away, I couldn't even dial the phone. I couldn't even think of who to call. And yet, all these prearranged things were done. It took a dear person in my life to say, Carolyn, where is the phone number? And very calmly asking me, where is the paperwork? And I just handed her a folder. And she found the phone number of the place, made a phone call, and that was all she had to do, because everything else was then set into motion. The arrangements were made as to what needed to be done. The certificates were already targeted to be completed. The picking up of the body was already in motion. All these things were activated by one phone call. And the next phone call that I would get within 2 weeks, I was notified. And they stay in touch with you and and they walk you through. We're in the process of doing this. Would you like to have, your last visit with them before both my parents were cremated. At the time that my dad passed, it was during COVID. I didn't keep his ashes, but they did everything automatically. Put him out to sea. I reason with it saying he's swimming back to Indonesia. I I'm a bit regretful that I didn't keep his ashes, because when my mom passed, same thing, one phone call. Ironically, the same person helped me. But I was a lot more attentive and aware. But I didn't have to make any decisions. Most people, when they don't plan anything, have to go down to the funeral home and make all these decisions. Oh, did so-and-so want to be cremated? Did they want to be buried? Do we have to pick out a casket? Everything. Everything was planned out for this event. I didn't have to think about anything. And I'm glad I didn't have to, because I watch so many people that go through the same thing. And they're left either not knowing because nobody talked about it, or they didn't know if they were honoring wishes of how, when, where. We know the why. But you get what I'm saying? I didn't have to think about that. The level of pressure for just that, it wasn't enormous for me. It was already handled. I am forever grateful. And whoever is going to be left to take care of me at the end of my time, I'm going to make sure that it's just as easy. And I know that my mom, 10 years ago, she paid for the minimalist, and she paid like $1,400. And I think the last time when I went to go pick her up, the last time I checked, the price for everything was like $1,800. But I want you to think about that. If you haven't discussed it with your loved one in caregiving, you might want to discuss that. Take the burden off yourself for what you need to deal with later. If you're thinking about helping someone that might be helping you, make those decisions too. Give the gift of love, because that's what it is. They loved you enough to take care of it so they could take something off your plate. Because there's a lot of things that go into post-caregiving. There's a lot of things that go into post-life that need to be handled that we don't think about. Maybe we don't want to think about it. Maybe we can't get to it because our plates are too full. This is one less thing that can be handled. And with that, I say stay blessed. Always be good to yourself. And I'll see you in the next video. Hey, thanks for watching. And please remember to hit the subscribe button. We are trying to grow our channel and reach 1,000 subscribers. Now, for every new subscriber, these two nutheads right here, they're going to get a treat, so we will all be happy. Thanks for watching.